Hello, everybody. I'm super excited to have Nejc, my co-founder, here with me today. The sole purpose of it is to talk about a workshop we just published yesterday. A lot of RevOps experts, sales leaders, marketing leaders I talk to daily are telling us, hey, we kind of understand AI, but not entirely. And I see their mind being blown off by all the options and possibilities around AI. And if you've been at Inbound, you've seen their mesh talk. These are the basics, and if you understand them, it's much easier to talk internally and externally with people about all the possibilities, how to automate stuff. So because of that, we designed a workshop meant for RevOps, GTM, sales, marketing leaders, to just help you set the foundation higher than you currently have. I know a lot of you are overwhelmed. So hey, Nejc, super excited to just go through all that. Give us a quick overview. What's the purpose? Why AI for RevOps? Why the foundation? What we'll be talking about.
So the intent of this particular workshop was to provide some kind of an overview of what was going on over the past year in the LLM space, primarily focused at people who use and should use LLMs in their operations, in their work. And because we use LLMs a lot ourselves, we learned a lot over the past few years, and I think now it's a good time to share those learnings with a wider audience.
How did you structure the whole workshop? There are kind of eight models. Can you just walk us through each of them slowly to share a bit more light of what we'll be talking, what will be covered in each of them?
So before I do that, just want to say that the whole format was inspired. Like, I was inspired to do this kind of a format by a workshop I was attending last year. It worked really well. I was very worried that a Zoom workshop is not going to be very useful. That it's so easy to just wander off and do your things if you're just listening to someone for hours. But I was really surprised how that particular instructor kept us glued to our screens for 5 hours with just one small 3-minute break. So I want to replicate something like that. In terms of the program, again, this is the foundational workshop. So we will touch on the fundamentals of LLMs, of course, with a little focus on RevOps. We won't be looking so much into let's say video models or image models, stuff like that, but really on stuff that's useful for RevOps, marketing ops, sales ops people, also SDRs, account executives, or sales leaders in general. And the first module is about LLM fundamentals. We're going to just go into how LLMs work, because there's a lot of misconceptions there. I just had a ChatGPT workshop a few months ago, and I realized a lot of people just have some deep misunderstandings about how these things work. So that's the first module. This is just the first one of 8. So altogether, there's 8 modules. The second one is going to be about LLM vendor and model landscape. So we're going to talk about differences in vendor approaches to LLMs, specific models, especially the new ones, also from the performance and cost perspective, and how to decide which models to use for what task. That's going to be the main takeaway of this module. The third one is how to in what ways can a RevOps person or a GTM team use LLMs. So this is like conceptual approaches to using LLMs. And a lot of people are familiar with these, but in principle, you can use them for generating, extracting material, classifying information, or just executing tasks and tools. So we will be going through all of these in detail. And for each of those modules, there is going to be an exercise at the end that is going to be extremely practical. And of course, we will help the attendees to solve those exercises, to learn from them, and also discuss the solutions at the end.
Okay.
The fourth module is going to be around guardrailing LLMs. Now we, I think, as an industry, have a much better understanding of limitations, like inherent limitations of LLMs. It's not entirely clear right now how we will get rid of them. So I think the market is maturing a bit, and we now know what are the issues. We're just gonna need to find ways around them. So one of those things is just preventing hallucinations, ensuring reliability, so that when you give an LLM an instruction, you get back something that you can actually rely on. So that will be the main topic, and you will see a lot of different techniques here. Also in terms of XML tags and JSON schemas, which can all help in narrowing down the, let's say, the size of the solution space that LLMs provide. That's the module 4. So it's about reliability. The fifth module is solely dedicated to different ways of how we can invoke LLMs. So how we can call them, and there's one could think, okay, why is that a separate module? But it turns out that there's many different ways, and now especially with MCPs, so the model context protocol, we're getting a lot of freedom in terms of different ways we can use LLMs. And yeah, so this will be, we will also write a few scripts together for example, Google Sheets. So we'll see how we can use LLMs directly in Google Sheets, for example, just some neat practical examples. And then module 6 is about agents. We'll have probably a dedicated workshop for agents a bit later, but we will spend an hour here just discussing different approaches to agentic workflows. How are agents different from like typical workflows? How to manage memory, how to use tools, and different things, so that at the end, the participants will have a good understanding of for which tasks we should actually use AI agents and which tasks we should just solve in different other ways. And the 7th module is about data privacy and compliance. So here, this is a shorter module, but I think it's still important to have a good understanding of, how to use LLMs in a compliant, safe way that respects privacy of personal information of people. So that's going to be the focus of this module. And then the last one, module 8, is about practical use cases specifically for RevOps. So we will be going through different typical tasks or processes that a RevOps person needs to solve typically, and we will see how we can use the techniques and approaches discussed earlier to apply to these use cases. one thing we want to do here is also when people will be signing up, they're invited to contribute their own wish list of what kind of use case they want to see addressed and maybe discussed. So one thing I want to do here at this last module is also discuss that. We will not go in tremendous depth here because we'll just have an hour and a half for these use cases, but still it should be useful enough to at least know how to start, where to start, and build useful stuff.
I, as a pharmacist by training, I'm super excited for this one. The whole workshop, it speaks to my challenges. I mean, I have my vibe coding approach to go to you and our CTO, but I could be more efficient. For anyone who's considering that, who is intrigued by what we'll be talking about throughout the workshop, there are already 2 workshops available. The first one is happening November 12th to 13th, 2 consecutive days for 4 hours each day. And yes, you'll have 2 5-minute bio breaks. Otherwise, we'll keep you engaged. And yes, you will be exhausted at the end. But that's the purpose of it. It will be condensed, intense. And yeah, you can thank us after the 8-hour. We had a similar intense workshop like 10 years ago at our previous company. And people were closed in a room for 3 days, and they survived. Their brain was, I guess, fried, but they liked the approach. So we want to do it as intense as it was there. Also here to just maximize the amount of knowledge you can get from such a workshop.
Yeah, that's the whole point, is to get like maximum output you can get within 8 hours. So it is going to be intense. We are going to ask a lot of questions all the time so that we keep everyone engaged and glued to the screen. That's the approach.
If for some reason you can't make it for November, there's a one before December. So it's December 9th and 10th. There's another slot. If you'll have any questions about the topics, about the workshop as a whole, both of us, Nejc and myself, can address any questions, providing more insights. If your particular question or topic will be covered, to what extent, we're both on LinkedIn available. Shoot us a DM. We're happy to address any questions, concerns. If you need us help you make a case why the education budget you might still have available is a good investment, let us know. We or AI can help with that, make that case for you. And yeah, see you on November 12th. If you have colleagues who would be interested in, you can find the link to the workshop on our website, celestial.com. There's a subpage workshop. Yeah, looking forward to see you all at the workshop on November 12th. Thank you, Nejc, for joining me.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Take care and have a good weekend.
Bye-bye.